These are the only exercises you need for giant forearms. Did you know that the forearm involves a muscle group so ignored that more than 80% of men simply don't even know the correct way to train it? Many guys try to justify this neglect by saying that wrist size has genetic limits, that it can't be increased, that it's what you were born with. But in reality, those who usually say this are just lazy to train this muscle. And yes, it can be improved in both strength and muscle definition, just like any other muscle group in your body. It's very common to see guys at the gym giving total priority to other muscles they deem more important, such as chest, biceps, triceps, and abs, but completely neglecting the forearms. Those who do this are missing out on a series of benefits, such as increased grip strength that improves your performance in practically all exercises that involve holding weight, prevention of wrist and elbow injuries, and the aesthetic balance of your arms as a whole. And we don't even need to talk about the aesthetic appeal. The forearms are muscles that are always visible, even when you wear a short-sleeved shirt. If you're one of those guys who trains to attract women's attention, know that a well-developed forearm is one of the body parts they notice the most. Therefore, in this video, you'll see the only exercises you really need to have giant forearms once and for all. Before we begin, please leave in the comments your name and the city from where you're watching our content. First, you need to understand a little about the anatomy of this muscle group. The forearm is formed by three main muscle groups: the wrist flexors, which are located on the inner part of the forearm and are responsible for bending the wrist toward the inner part of the arm. They give that thickness to the underside of the forearm. The wrist extensors, which are located on the outer part of the forearm and are responsible for extending the wrist, lifting the hand upward. They give that definition to the upper part of the forearm. And the brachioradialis, which is the muscle that forms a ball on the outer side of the forearm near the elbow. It is responsible for elbow flexion when the forearm is in a neutral position. Now that you better understand the forearm structure, let's move on to the exercises that will really make this region grow. Exercise 1. Wrist extensions. Wrist extensions are fundamental for developing the back of the forearm, that region that gives definition when you extend your arm. This exercise directly works the extensor muscles of the forearm, which are frequently neglected, but are essential for complete and balanced development. To execute correctly, you'll need a bench and a light dumbbell to start. Sit on the bench and rest your forearm on your thigh, leaving the wrist hanging off with the palm facing down. The dumbbell should be secure in your hand. From this position, make a well-controlled movement, lifting just the wrist as much as you can while keeping the forearm fixed on your leg. It's as if you were waving goodbye to someone, but using only the wrist movement. A common mistake many people make is using a very heavy weight right away. This causes compensation with other muscles and prevents proper activation of the Another mistake is doing the movement too quickly or using momentum, which drastically reduces effectiveness. Keep the movement slow and controlled, focusing on muscle contraction. For optimal results, do 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions with a weight that allows good technique, but becomes difficult in the last few reps. Rest between sets. Include this exercise in your routine twice a week, preferably on days when you train back or shoulders. As you get stronger, gradually increase the weight, but never sacrifice technique. If you feel wrist discomfort, reduce the load and focus on execution. Remember, this is a smaller muscle group, so progression should be conservative. Before continuing to the second exercise, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to correct and science-based information will help you progress long-term. Exercise 2. Wrist curls. The wrist curl is the main exercise for developing the flexors, the muscles on the bottom part of the forearm that give impressive thickness. These muscles are essential not only for aesthetics, but also for improving grip strength, which carries over to all other exercises. To execute correctly, do the opposite of wrist extensions. Sit on the bench and rest your forearm on your thigh with the palm facing up. Hold the dumbbell and, keeping the forearm still, lift the weight using only the wrist, maximally contracting the flexors at the top. Lower the weight slowly, allowing a good stretch at the bottom. Common errors include using excessive weight, rushing the movement, using momentum, or not completing the full range of motion. Many also forget to contract the muscle at the top. The forearm should remain fixed on the thigh at all times. Program wrist curls similarly to extensions. 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. You can train flexors and extensors on the same day, twice a week. A very effective tip is to superset wrist extensions and wrist curls without resting between them, resting only after completing both. This gives an incredible pump and saves time. Reduce the weight slightly if needed to maintain quality execution. These 2 exercises alone will build stronger forearms than most people at the gym. But if you want to go even further and have titanium forearms, here are 3 additional movements. Additional exercise 1. Farmer's walk. The farmer's walk is one of the most underestimated exercises for building powerful forearms. It works all forearm muscles in an integrated way and is extremely functional, simulating everyday carrying tasks. What makes it so effective is the continuous isometric tension. Throughout the walk, your forearm muscles remain maximally contracted to maintain grip, creating a strong growth stimulus. Use heavy dumbbells, kettlebells, or hex bars. Hold one weight in each hand, with arms extended at your sides, shoulders back, and posture erect. Walk at a controlled pace for a set distance. A common mistake is choosing a weight that's too light. To be effective, the load must seriously challenge your grip. Another mistake is hunching the shoulders or looking down, which can cause spinal issues. Maintain an upright posture and look forward. Perform 3 to 4 sets, walking until your grip nearly fails. Rest adequately between sets. Include this exercise at least once a week, preferably at the end of a back or leg workout. As grip strength improves, increase weight or distance. An advanced variation is holding the weights with just your fingers to further increase stimulus. This exercise also improves posture, core strength, and overall endurance. Additional exercise 2. Reverse curl. The reverse curl is excellent for working the forearm extensors and the brachioradialis, which adds size near the elbow. Unlike traditional curls, this exercise shifts emphasis from the biceps to the forearms due to the pronated grip. Stand upright holding a bar or dumbbells with palms facing down. Keep elbows close to the body and curl the weight upward in a controlled manner. Pause briefly, then lower slowly. Common errors include swinging the body, moving the elbows away from the torso, and not controlling the lowering phase. Using excessive weight compromises technique and reduces forearm activation. Use lighter loads and focus on perfect execution. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. This exercise can be done 1 to 2 times per week, ideally after biceps are already fatigued to increase forearm recruitment. Additional exercise 3. Hammer curl. The hammer curl is one of the most effective exercises for developing the brain. Although often considered a biceps exercise, it places significant emphasis on the forearm due to the neutral grip. Stand upright holding dumbbells at your sides with palms facing each other. Keep elbows close to the body and curl the weights upward without momentum. Pause at peak contraction, then lower slowly. Common mistakes include rotating the hands, using momentum, and failing to pause at the top. To maximize results, perform 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. You may alternate arms to use slightly heavier weights. Performing hammer curls after traditional biceps work increases forearm activation. Other secrets to maximize results include increasing training volume progressively, maintaining consistency, and ensuring balanced training of all forearm muscles to avoid imbalances and injuries. Only training flexors can lead to weakness in extensors, affecting grip and joint health. The brachioradialis is also essential for lifting heavy weights. Finally, maintain a protein-rich diet. Without proper nutrition, results will not come regardless of training effort. Include quality protein sources such as lean meats, eggs, or supplements if necessary. Protein is the foundation of muscle repair and growth, and lack of it is one of the most common mistakes people make. If you want to learn about other common mistakes that ruin training progress, there's a video appearing on the screen now explaining each one. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.